The cold tile bites at my bare feet. I didn't realize I'd left the bed, didn't feel the air conditioning chill my skin until now. Standing here in the dim light of the hallway, the laptop screen a low hum and a faint, sickening glow reflected in my wide, unblinking eyes. It's late. The kind of late where the house holds its breath, where the silence feels heavy, weighted with unsaid things. He's asleep down the hall, oblivious. Or pretending to be. On the screen, a bank statement. Nothing unusual at first. Direct deposits, mortgage, utility bills. The rhythm of a shared life, predictable, dull even. Then an outgoing transfer. Large. Followed by another and another monthly. Labeled vaguely, consulting fee, investment, but the amounts they match something else I saw, a stray email I dismissed as spam about a property management company. Something about a luxury rental. My breath catches. My heart, which moments ago was beating a slow, sleepy rhythm, now hammers against my ribs, a frantic bird trapped in a cage. My fingers, trembling, navigate to another file. An address. A building downtown. Sleek, modern, expensive. I remember driving past it, him making some throwaway comment about the absurd rent. The pieces don't fit. Not into the picture of the life we built, the future we planned. They fit into another picture, one I never wanted to see. My stomach lurches. It feels like I've been punched, hard, in a place I didn't know was vulnerable. The glowing screen is a window, and I'm looking through it into a stranger's house. If this story hits close to home, I'd love to hear your version. Tell me in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. It helps me more than you know. Our life before that night felt sturdy, built on years, brick by brick. A comfortable house in a quiet neighborhood, the kind with old trees and sidewalks that cracked in familiar patterns. Weekends were predictable. Farmer's market on Saturday, maybe a movie, dinner with friends. Evenings were spent on the couch, reading or watching some forgettable show, the comfortable weight of his presence beside me, a silent reassurance. We had plans. Retirement someday, maybe travel. A vague, pleasant horizon we ambled towards together. He worked hard. I worked hard. We contributed. We were partners. Or I thought we were. I believed in the narrative we presented to the world, the one we lived inside. It wasn't a fairy tale. No, we had our moments, small disagreements that blew over, the occasional stress from work or family. But the foundation felt solid, unshakable, like the old trees outside. I was content, maybe too content. Maybe I stopped looking closely. I saw the man I married, the steady provider, the quiet presence, the one who knew how I like my coffee. I saw what I expected to see. The possibility of anything else, anything darker, simply didn't compute. It wasn't in the script. My desires were simple, rooted in this shared life. Security, peace, growing old together with a quiet companionship. The mundane beauty of continuity. That was enough. More than enough. The house is still dark, still silent. The air moments ago just cool, now feels arctic, freezing my insides. I scroll down the bank statement again, my eyes scanning the dates, the amounts. The pattern is undeniable. Regular payments, like rent. To a property management company. For an address I now recognized as that luxury building downtown. My mind races, trying to build a bridge of logic, a way this fits into our life. Business expense? An investment I didn't know about? But the labels. Consulting fee is too vague. Too easily disguised. The amount's too consistent for fluctuating business needs. Then the email again. I find it in the deleted folder, retrieved by some digital archaeology I barely understand. It's a confirmation of a lease. In a name that isn't his. A woman's name. My world tilts. The comfortable, predictable ground beneath me gives way. The name. I know it. Not well. An acquaintance. Someone I've met a few times at office parties. Blonde, polished, younger. I dismissed her then as just another face in the crowd. Now her name, linked to this address, linked to these payments from our joint account, screams in my head. Betrayal. The word arrives not like a sudden shock, but like a slow, toxic seep. It poisons the air I breathe. It coats my tongue in bitter acid. My hands are shaking so hard now I have to brace them on the edge of the desk to steady myself. The image of his sleeping face flashes behind my eyes, and I feel a surge of nausea so powerful I have to close them, breathing shallowly through my mouth. He paid for her luxury apartment. Our money. The money earned together, saved for our future, the future he was building with someone else. The sheer audacity of it. The cold, calculated deceit. It wasn't a one-time mistake, a drunken lapse in judgment. This was sustained. Monthly payments. A secret life, funded by the one he pretended to share with me. The first wave is disbelief, a frantic urge to find another explanation. Maybe she works for him, and this is corporate housing? No, the amounts, the description. Maybe it's a rental property we own that I forgot about? The address doesn't match anything in our portfolio. With chilling certainty, the truth settles in. It's heavy, suffocating. I don't confront him. Not yet. The initial impulse is to wake him, scream, throw the laptop at his head. But a colder instinct takes over. Survival. What do I know? Not enough. What can I prove? Only what's on the screen. He's good at deception, clearly. A master. Rushing in, hysterical, would only give him the advantage. He'd deny, gaslight, turn it around. He'd find a way to make me the crazy one, the suspicious wife who invaded his privacy. Instead, I copy the files. Every single one. The bank statements, the email, the property management contact info. I save them to a hidden folder, then to an external drive. My fingers move methodically, detached. It feels like I'm preparing for war. The quiet house, the sleeping husband, they're the enemy camp, and I am a spy gathering intelligence behind enemy lines. The next few days are a blur of performance. I play the part of the unsuspecting wife. I make coffee, I talk about my day, I sit beside him on the couch. Every mundane action is a lie, a careful charade. Inside, I am a storm. My heart pounds whenever he looks at me, convinced he can see the truth in my eyes. Every touch feels like a violation. Every word he speaks is filtered through the lens of his betrayal. He complains about the cost of living. He talks about saving for our next vacation, and I just watch him, this stranger in my home, speaking our shared language while living a separate, secret one. The dry humor of it is almost unbearable. He lectures me about turning off lights to save on the electricity bill while paying thousands monthly for a luxury apartment for his mistress. Sleep is impossible. My mind is a relentless loop of images. His face, her face, the sleek facade of the building. I start researching. Divorce lawyers. Financial forensics. The legal concept of dissipated assets, funds spent by one spouse for non-marital purposes, especially on a paramour. The apartment. It fits perfectly. It's not just money he spent. It's a monument to his infidelity, built with our joint resources. Consulting with the lawyer is a revelation. A grim, professional process. She listens calmly, her expression neutral, occasionally asking sharp, precise questions. Her office is cool, minimalist. It feels like a laboratory where messy, painful lives are dissected with sterile instruments. I lay out the evidence, trembling slightly as I hand over the printouts. Bank statements, emails, the address. It feels flimsy, inadequate against the weight of years of marriage. But her eyes, as she examines them, grow sharper. "This is good," she says, her voice low. "Very good." Financial trails are difficult to erase, especially consistent ones. She explains the process. Filing for divorce. Asset discovery. Subpoenas. It's a language of combat, dressed up in legal terms. It's expensive. It's invasive. It's going to be ugly. He will fight, she warns. He will lie. He will try to hide everything. I nod. I know. I've seen him lie, up close and personal, every day for the past week. The early struggles are the silent ones. The struggle to keep the mask on. The struggle to eat, to sleep. The struggle against the crushing weight of sadness and anger. It's like trying to run underwater. Every step is heavy, exhausting. I want to scream, to shatter the porcelain facade of our life. But I hold back. I need to be strategic. Filing the papers is a quiet act of war. There's no dramatic confrontation, no shouting match. It happens through intermediaries, through legal documents delivered by a stranger. He receives the papers and the calm, controlled facade he's maintained cracks. His calls begin. Fury. Disbelief. "What is this?" he demands, his voice tight with rage. "Have you lost your mind? After everything I've done for you?" He doesn't mention the apartment. Not a word. He focuses on my supposed ingratitude, my sudden capriciousness. The gaslighting is in full force. He paints himself as the wronged party, blindsided by my irrational behavior. It's a breathtaking display of narcissism. I listen, my heart cold, my lawyer's advice echoing in my ears. Say as little as possible. Do not negotiate directly. Let them talk to my attorney. This is the rising challenge. His resistance. His denial. He hires a formidable lawyer known for aggressive tactics. They push back against every request for financial information. They delay. They obfuscate. Our joint accounts are suddenly empty. Funds move to accounts I didn't know existed, in names I don't recognize. It's a frantic scrambling to hide, to minimize his exposure. The emotional toll is immense. Friends take sides, or disappear, uncomfortable with the messiness. His family is distant, either believing his version or choosing not to get involved. I am isolated, facing this alone, armed only with my lawyer and the cold, hard facts I uncovered. Doubt creeps in during the long, empty nights. Can I prove it? Can I win against his lies, his resources, his sheer determination to escape consequence? He makes it clear, through his lawyer's letters and his own occasional, venomous texts, he will leave me with nothing if he can. The cost of the legal battle mounts. The lawyer's fees feel obscene, another source of stress in a life overflowing with it. Every subpoena costs money. Every deposition, every hour my lawyer spends fighting his team stonewalling. I watch my savings dwindle. Money I worked hard for, money I thought was securing our future, now being spent to dismantle it, piece by painful piece. Then comes the midpoint shift, a moment in my lawyer's office. We're reviewing their latest delay tactic, another frivolous motion designed to bleed me dry emotionally and financially.
I'm tired.
So incredibly tired. I slump in the chair, the fight draining out of me. Maybe I should just take whatever he offers, I say, the words tasting like ash. This is too much. My lawyer leans forward. She's older, with sharp, kind eyes. He's counting on that, she says quietly. He's counting on you breaking. He built his betrayal in plain sight, or so he thought, and now he wants you to pay for the privilege of discovering it by giving up. She pauses, letting her words sink in. Think about that apartment, she says. He used your money to build a life with her, to give her luxury. He took from you to give to her. Do you want him to get away with that? Do you want him to keep everything, walk away clean, and you're left picking up the pieces of a life he demolished? Her words are a glass of ice water thrown in my face. The weariness doesn't vanish, but it's joined by a white-hot spark of anger. Not the hysterical, impotent rage of discovery, but a cold, steady fire.
She's right. He stole from me.
He didn't just break his vows. He committed financial fraud, hiding assets, spending marital funds on his affair. And he expects me to roll over. In that moment, something hardens inside me. The grieving wife steps back, and someone else steps forward. Someone colder. Someone determined. No, I say, my voice surprisingly steady. I won't let him win. I won't let him get away with it. Good, my lawyer says, a flicker of approval in her eyes. Because we found something else. She slides a document across the desk. It's a property tax record for the apartment building. And buried deep in the owner information, linked to the property management company he was paying a name. The Mistress's name. Not as a tenant, but listed in a complex ownership structure, a shell corporation, or a trust, with her name appearing as a beneficiary or officer. It's convoluted, clearly designed to obscure the true owner, but the thread is there. The apartment wasn't just rented for her, it was potentially owned by her, or held in a way that directly benefited her long-term. Paid for with our money. This changes everything. It's not just dissipated rent payments. It's potentially a hidden asset he gifted to her, using marital funds. A much bigger, more tangible betrayal. This knowledge fuels me through the deepening crisis. He continues his tactics, delays, denials, claiming poverty while clearly living well. His lawyer paints a picture of me as unstable, greedy, making wild accusations. The emotional toll is immense. There are days I feel like I can't breathe, buried under the weight of it all. My home, once my sanctuary, feels empty, haunted by the ghost of the man I thought I married. Friends suggest moving on, cutting my losses. It feels like practical advice, but it stings. They didn't see the bank statements. They didn't see the name, the address, the cold calculation of it. They didn't see the apartment paid for with my own hard-earned money. There are moments of pure despair. Sitting alone in the quiet house, the silence amplified by the absence of the life that used to fill it, I question everything. Was it worth it? This fight? The cost? The pain? The isolation? What if we lose? What if he wins, and I'm left with nothing but the bitter taste of a futile battle? The discovery process grinds on. Subpoenas are issued. Bank records arrive, thick stacks of paper confirming the money trail. Emails are retrieved, carefully worded, avoiding direct declarations of affection but filled with logistical details about the apartment, renovations, furniture purchases. All billed to accounts funded by our income. His defense is pathetic in its dishonesty. He claims the payments were a loan to her, a business investment. He claims she was a consultant, and the apartment was part of her compensation package, a lavish, tax-dodging compensation package he conveniently forgot to declare. It's a web of lies so tangled even his own lawyer seems to struggle to keep them straight. But they persist, hoping to create enough doubt, enough confusion, to protect him. My lawyer, however, is relentless. She follows every thread. She connects the dots. She brings in a forensic accountant who meticulously traces the flow of money, proving the payments came directly from marital funds and coincided precisely with the timeline of his affair and her acquisition of the property interest. The accountant's report is damning.
Clear.
Unemotional. A financial roadmap of betrayal. This is the turning point. Armed with the accountant's report, the property records linking her to the ownership, and the documented flow of our money, the strategy crystallizes. We don't just ask for equitable division of assets. We go after the dissipated assets, yes, the value of the rent payments. But we also argue that his use of marital funds to acquire or contribute to the acquisition of an asset for his paramour constitutes financial misconduct and dissipation on such a scale that it warrants a specific remedy. We aren't just asking for money back. We are asking for justice. We are asking specifically for that monument to his betrayal to be dismantled or, even better, transferred to me. The final court date looms. The air feels thick with anticipation, a nervous energy buzzing in the courthouse hallways. Lawyers in dark suits stride purposefully, briefcases clutched like shields. The courtroom is sterile, imposing. Wood panels, high ceiling, the judge's bench elevated, a seat of power and judgment. He is there, sitting at the table with his lawyer. He looks different.
Thinner.
His face is pale, drawn tight with tension. He avoids my eyes.
Good.
Let him sweat. Let him feel, for a change, the pressure he put me under for months. The proceedings begin. My lawyer presents our case. She is calm, methodical. She lays out the evidence, the bank records, the emails, the property documents, the forensic accountant's report. She speaks about the marriage, the shared life, the trust that was broken. And then she presents the case for the dissipated assets, detailing the thousands spent on the apartment. And then she talks about the apartment itself, the ownership structure, the clear intent to conceal his lies about business expenses or loans. She argues that this wasn't merely a consequence of the affair, but an active, ongoing financial deception that depleted marital resources for a non-marital purpose, directly benefiting his mistress. And she makes her request that the court consider this egregious financial misconduct when dividing the marital estate, and specifically, that the court award me the apartment itself, or a value equivalent to it, as part of the settlement, perhaps even in lieu of other assets he might have kept clean. It's a bold move. Unconventional, maybe, but grounded in the evidence of a specific, tangible betrayal. His lawyer argues back. He tries to discredit the evidence, spin the payments as legitimate business expenses, paint the apartment as a trivial matter blown out of proportion by a vengeful wife. He talks about my supposed extravagance, my contributions being less significant. It's a desperate, ugly defense. The judge listens impassive. She asks questions, pointed, cutting to the heart of the matter. She is focused on the money trail, the documents, the cold, hard facts. Hours pass. The air in the courtroom grows heavy. The outcome feels uncertain, balanced on a knife's edge. All this pain, all this fight, could it still end with him walking away largely unscathed, while I am left with a Pyrrhic victory measured only in legal fees and emotional scars? Then the judge speaks. Her voice is clear, resonant in the quiet room. She talks about the evidence presented. She acknowledges the breakdown of the marriage, the difficulty of dividing assets built over years. And then she addresses the disputed funds, the apartment. She states, clearly and unequivocally, that the evidence presented demonstrates a pattern of significant financial expenditure of marital funds for a non-marital purpose, directly linked to the husband's extramarital relationship. She notes the husband's inconsistent and unsupported explanations for these expenditures. She concludes that these funds were indeed dissipated, wasting marital assets. But then she goes further. She addresses the apartment itself, the convoluted ownership structure, the clear attempt at concealment, and the use of marital funds to acquire or maintain this asset for his paramour. She describes it as an egregious instance of financial misconduct and dissipation. My heart stops. I hold my breath. And then she delivers the ruling. She orders the division of assets. She allocates certain accounts, certain properties. And then she says, her voice steady, given the nature and extent of the financial misconduct related to the property at the luxury building address, purchased and maintained with marital funds for the benefit of a third party, the court finds it equitable and just to award this asset, specifically the defendant's interest or the traceable value derived from marital funds, to the plaintiff as part of the final distribution. The words hang in the air. The apartment. The apartment. The monument to his betrayal. Awarded.
To me.
I look at him. He is frozen. His face, moments ago pale, is now a mask of shock, then disbelief, then pure, unadulterated rage. His eyes bulge. His mouth drops open. He looks like he's been physically struck. He starts to sputter, to protest, his lawyer putting a hand on his arm, trying to quiet him. But he doesn't care. He glares at the judge, then at me. His face contorts. What? He explodes, his voice raw, disbelieving. You can't do that. That's her apartment. I paid for it, not for her to just give it away. He actually screams the last part, a sound of utter, blindsided fury and humiliation. His lawyer is pulling at him, whispering urgently. The judge is gaveling, her expression stern. The bailiff takes a step forward. The courtroom is a sudden tableau of chaos, his sputtering rage, his lawyer's frantic damage control, the judge's firm hand. And me. I sit there, perfectly still. A wave of calm washes over me. It's not triumphant glee, not exactly. It's colder than that. A deep, quiet satisfaction that settles bone deep. He thought he was so clever. Hiding it. Building his secret life. Using our money to do it. He thought he could just walk away, leaving me with nothing, while his mistress lounged in luxury funded by my own efforts. But his own greed, his own arrogance, his own specific, tangible act of betrayal became the very instrument of his undoing. He didn't just lose money. He lost the symbol of his deceit. He lost the thing he spent our money on trying to keep it hidden. And now I own it. The apartment. The luxury cage he built for his affair. Now it's mine. Leaving the courthouse feels surreal. The air outside is crisp, clean, a stark contrast to the stuffy, tense atmosphere inside. My lawyer walks beside me, her expression one of professional satisfaction. He didn't see that coming, she says, a hint of a smile playing on her lips. He was so focused on hiding money, he thought the apartment was untouchable because it wasn't directly in his name. He never anticipated the court would see his payments as dissipation for that specific asset, and then use that asset in the equitable distribution. I nod, still processing it. The victory feels heavy. Sweet, yes. Undeniably sweet, but also weighted down with the years it took to get here, the pain, the cost. The aftermath isn't a sudden burst of happiness. It's a slow exhale, a gradual unpacking of a life. The house feels different now. Quieter, yes, but not empty. It's mine. The silence is no longer heavy with his deceit. It's simply silence, a space to fill with my own thoughts, my own future. What do I do with an apartment that was bought as a love nest for my husband and his mistress? The irony isn't lost on me. It's a physical manifestation of his betrayal, and now it belongs to me. I could sell it, erase the connection. Or I could keep it. A stark, tangible reminder of what he did, and what I overcame. A trophy, perhaps, but a complicated one. I visit it once.
Just to see.
The doorman is polite, professional. I take the elevator up, my heart thumping. The view from the window is spectacular, sweeping across the city skyline. It's beautiful, impersonal, luxurious, and paid for with my money. Standing there, in the space he created for another woman, I don't feel sadness or jealousy, just emptiness, and a profound sense of detachment. This place isn't a home. It's an address, a transaction, a symbol of a lie. I decide to sell it. Keeping it feels too heavy, too tied to the past. The money from the sale, combined with the rest of the settlement, provides financial security. More than security, even. It's freedom. Freedom from the lies, the deceit, the constant struggle. Freedom to build something new, something real, on ground that hasn't been poisoned. The lessons learned are etched deep. Trust, once broken, leaves irreparable cracks. Financial independence isn't just practical. It's a shield, a necessary armor in a world where even the person sleeping beside you can be a stranger. And sometimes the universe or the legal system has a brutal, poetic sense of justice. Sometimes, the trap the betrayer sets for others is the one they end up caught in themselves. He built his mistress a gilded cage with our money, and I ended up owning the key and then selling the cage itself. The scream he let out in court echoes sometimes, a satisfying, if hollow, sound. He lost more than just money. He lost control. He lost the narrative. He lost face in the most public way possible, directly because of the specific way he chose to betray me. Life isn't perfect now. There are scars. There's a deep wariness that wasn't there before. But there's also a quiet strength, a resilience forged in the fire of betrayal and battle. I rebuilt, on my own terms, with the foundations I laid myself, and yes, with the bricks he inadvertently provided. The luxury apartment, the symbol of his secret life, became the cornerstone of my new, honest one. Thanks for being here. If this story hit close to home, I'd love to hear your version. Drop a comment with where you're listening from and what time it is. Subscribing helps bring more of these to life.